Hi, my name is Kenton and I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And in this video, I'm going to tell you about how I was introduced into solar and how the more that I looked into it, quite frankly, the more questions and doubts that I had. But my goal is to take you along for the journey and to help you think it through and to evaluate it for yourself. I'll tell you right away that I'm not an electrician. So investigating this was a whole new endeavor for me once I decided to dig into it. Solar panels have long seemed like a great idea, at least in theory. But has the technology come far enough yet? And are they remotely affordable? Or are they just something that people stick on their roof to demonstrate their concern for the environment? The spark that really ignited my journey happened in July of 2021, when my parents were looking at a proposal to put solar panels on their own house. They shared the proposal and diagram with me, and suddenly I had more and more questions. Without realizing it, my natural curiosity led me to really, authentically question solar, as I became the Solar Skeptic. Now, I just have to take a moment here to thank the sponsor of this video, R&P Developments. R&P Developments specialize in all sorts of construction and can help you with concrete foundations, interiors, exteriors, and of course your roof. Say you're getting your roof ready for solar panels. Give them a call. Also, they do amazing epoxy coatings on your garage floors. Their number is 780-991-6235. Once my parents received their estimate, my dad shared it with me to look over, and with his permission, I wanted to highlight it here as it was my first exposure to the solar industry. The first thing that a lot of people will notice from this proposal is that their roof can easily fit more solar panels on it. So why did the contractor stop at that number of panels? Well, at the contractor's request, my dad would have provided them with his electricity statements to show his usage over the past 12 months, a necessity. Based on his average usage over the year, the company designed a system that produced about 110% of the power that he consumed. This is not the company's decision. They're acting on regulations from the energy company in order to feed excess energy into the grid. We can also see that in his 18-panel system, each panel creates 385 watts. What does this mean? Well, it means that in optimal solar conditions from the sun, this is how much the panel will generate in an hour. It's also important to note here that these panels are drawn onto the southern part of his roof, which will maximize their exposure to the sun year-round. We also see the total size of his system, 6.93 kilowatts, and that the company estimates that it will generate 8,275 kilowatt hours over the course of a year. Next, we can see a visual of what my parents' historical electricity usage has been, overlapped with what their estimated production on their solar panels will be moving forward. This visual helps them to see when to expect a boost to their solar generated power and when it will really drop off. But there isn't anything too surprising here. Next, we see how their solar panels help mitigate energy costs that are likely to continue to rise over the coming years with an estimated 30-year projection. The point that they're trying to make here is that yes, the system will be a large investment, but over time, it could also help to be a safeguard and provide a buffer against rising energy costs. Next, we see the potentially shocking cost of the solar system, just under $24,000. For a solar system just under 7 kilowatts in size. They also have a note on here that there could be an additional fee of up to $3,500 if it's determined that their current electrical panel would need to be upgraded. Fortunately, they already have a new sub-panel wired in, but otherwise that fee could have applied to their house built in 1975. They also finished off their proposal with a payment schedule, a notice of a $5,000 federal grant that was available at the time to my parents, and a finance option if that was desirable. So after reviewing the proposal, I admit that it all looked pretty intriguing, and sure, it would at least give some help with their electricity bills, especially during the summer. But with all the answers that it gave, it led to a surprising amount of questions and doubt. Will it improve the value of their home if they're needing to relocate in the future? Maybe. But even if it did, was it the best investment for a couple in their 80s? But even on a practical level, if they wanted to do it to help with their monthly electricity usage, would the credit that they earned through the solar panels be noticed enough throughout the year? Even though I had way more questions than answers, I saw enough to become curious, even if I was still very skeptical. So I kept thinking it over and looking into it as I thought about the possibility for my own house. I approached about 5 solar panel contractors in my local area to start getting quotes and hammer them with questions. One company stood out because they were highly rated. Solar panels is one of the main things they focused on. I liked their partners that they listed, and they had a salesperson give me some one-on-one time via Zoom to answer all my questions and teach me whatever I wanted to know. They also had someone come out with a drone and take a picture of my roof so they could map the solar panels onto it and come up with a plan. There was still more to learn and upcoming decisions to make, but I really wanted to know the big 3. How big could my system be, as in how many panels and wattage, how much could it produce, and how much would it cost? I was very curious to see their proposal, which you can see here. They proposed a 9.35 kilowatt system that was estimated to produce 10,830 kilowatts annually. Even with all of this new information and the promise that it would help reduce my electricity usage from the grid and reliance on it, I was still skeptical. I had a lot of real-world questions like, would it actually generate power throughout the whole year or just for a few months in the summer? Do I have to change utility providers? Are the panels really durable enough for the extreme changes of Canadian weather? Do I need to clear snow off of them in the winter? What is their lifespan, and how long are they expected to produce electricity for? What is warranted on a project like this? How long do they take to pay for themselves, or is that even realistic? If you end up earning credit towards your electricity bill, do they only apply towards the electricity portion of your bill, or can they be used towards all the other fees like transmission, distribution, municipal, etc.? Are there loans or grants available to me? What about carbon credits? How do they apply here, or is that only for big industry? I had so many questions, and I'll be answering all of them and more in the videos that follow. But at the end of the day, we decided to go ahead with it, and we've been living with our solar system for the past year.